Hi, Zebra developers. I am glad to be here in this Zebra.con 2021 event. And for today, we will be presenting the Intelligent Edge Printer. So I'm going to talk about a little myself. My name is Manuel Caicedo Rivera. I am a senior software engineer. I work for the ISV team into the printing organization. You can find me here in this link from LinkedIn. And my role is to help the ISPs that work with Zebra to integrate in their applications our Zebra printer tools in order to make the application work with Zebra printers. In this particular case, the agenda for today will cover this different aspects: the types of data that our printer manage, the latest updates that we have done through LinkOS version 6.1, 2, 3, and 4 versions. That was just the latest version of the LinkOS was released just last month, version 6.4. So we will be covering all of those updates. Then we will be introducing the concept of the intelligent edge printer. So let's start it now. When we talk about types of data related with Zebra printers, we are talking about two different types of data. The one of the data that is generated by the third party and the data that is generated by the printer. So when we talk about the third party data, we are talking about through the different options that we allow the users and third party apps to use with our printers. So any third party app can use any third party data. All of that data will be sent to the printer, and the expectation of that data is that data is printed. Zebra never take nothing of that data for internal purposes, but there is a data that normally we recommend to the third parties to use in our printers in order to optimize the printing. So that data normally is related to templates, so CPL templates, and or image. Normally the logo of the labels are those image and fonts. Many different third-party users and applications use different fonts, so you can download those fonts in our printer. So that's basically what we call third-party data that is safe in our printers. Now let's talk about the other data that the printer generates. That is the data generated by the printer. That's what we have on the right side. The printers could generate RFID data, but the data basically to track what have been done with RFID, not the RFID that is embedded from the third party user. Also, the printer capture diagnostic data. That data could be related to the battery. It is a mobile printer, sorry, or a status error of the printer or internal sensors that the printer have, for example, temperature, humidity, and other ones. When we talk about security, yes, the printer generates different data related to security and is related to the configuration of the security. So you can capture the different profiles of the printer that have been set up for security. We will talk about security in more detail in the next slides. Also, we talk about MPS. MPS stands for Managed Print Services, and through this concept, we provide or capture data related to media, to ribbon, and to print heads. That's what we call the consumables of the printer. And the last data that normally we want to capture is also related to location and environment data, and that is related through possible location of the printer in real time or IoT sensors. IoT sensor, again, you can use temperature sensors or even humidity sensors and different kind of other sensors, IoT sensors that you can implement as a third-party integration with our printer. So those are the two types of data that our printer can manage and generate. Okay, let's talk a little about security updates that comes with LinkOS version 6.0 and any other version app. In this particular case, we implement one of those is the security assessment wizard that you can gather through our mobile app, even in Android or in iOS. The expectation with that security assessment wizard is that you are able to see the configuration and security of your printer in real time after the reports have been generated. So you have a curiosity. My recommendation is go through iOS and Android, download the app and look for the option for security assessment wizard on the application. Then we have the other feature that we have been improving through our security updates done through LinkOS and app. And those some of them are related to the Wi-Fi certification management. We have done a lot of good job to make this easier for ISVs and users in order to do the upgrades and work with the WM security certificates. Also, we just implement in our LinkOS version 6 what we call the protected mode. I'm going to talk about a little more in detail in the next slide about this and how that works. But the expectation is that you are able to manage and control to access up to 150 settings. And the last thing, but not less important, we have done default improvements, and some of them are related to the Bluetooth. And before LinkOS 6.0, you were able by default to find your printer through discovering in Bluetooth. After LinkOS 6.0, we removed the option for default to be found the printer, and that's it for security. So if you wanna find your printer through discovery, when you buy a new printer, you will need to keep the button, your finger in your button for 5 seconds, and after that you will be able to see the printer again. Otherwise, you won't find your printer through Bluetooth discovery. Many people report this as a fail. It's no fail, it's just a security improvement that we haven't done. So just be aware of that. Okay, if we want to talk about protected mode, the first recommendation is where I need to go to learn more about this. So the recommendation is go to the Print Secure Administration Guide. This is the document where we put everything that is related to the best practices to protected mode, how to use download protection, and how to use the latest updates done through the LAN and Wi-Fi. So all of the new SGD commands and how to use them are all of them into the LinkOS Print Secure document. Recommendation, go to this link when you have this presentation available. You will be able to see it, or otherwise, yes, here you go, and this is what you get from internet. And this is the full document where you can go and review all of the information that I'm going to explain. Because this is a presentation, is very short, I cannot go through all of the details of the document. I just focus on the one of the big updates that we have done. So the one of those is just how to enable the protected mode. What you're seeing on the right side is a small demo using our Zebra Designer, Zebra Designer, Zebra Setup utilities through Windows. So you can download that from our website. And basically what you're doing here is setting by first time the application into the system. In this particular case, what you're seeing is the system is off for protection. What we are doing is enable the protection on, and you will see how that is done. Now, and you will get that on. So you can see sending this particular configuration, you will get yours protected mode on. Okay, so let's explain in detail how that works. You have to send this SGD, the JSON command. This is a JSON format. So yes, you send this in JSON format. The head of the command is just the administration and password that normally you use. This is a type basic. And the second part is the command operation that you are enabling or executing in order to work for this. Okay, you have up to 10 different JSON command response, and you can get here is everything when filed, you will get a code 0. That means that the command was implemented successfully. Okay. What kind of operation I can do? Only you can do for now, one type, basic, and 4 different operations. So the operation setup, that's basically what you saw through the demo here. Also configuring one, that's what it means is if you want to disable the protected mode, that's the way to do it. Look through the manual to see the details how to implement it. And set is just to implement all of the 150 settings that you are able to do to the protected mode. All of those 150 settings are completely protected. Nobody can use it. Only the person who access to the password are able to modify or change those. And also one of the important ones that we added, and it's specific, is the allow next firmware download operation. That what it means this, or what it means is that you set up this command and enable up to for a few days that anybody can download the new firmware through the printer, and after that the printer will be in protected mode. So after done that download, nobody can do any other update until the command have been sent for authorized people. Okay, so that is a little more related to the security assessment wizard that we were talking about before. In the security assessment wizard, the expectation is that you will get a heat map like you see here, and this is done through the iOS app. So you will get some green areas, you will get some orange areas and some red areas. So I'm gonna explain in detail how that means on the next slide. And after that, you will get a report with all of them on the left side saying how many of those are in green, how many of those are in red, and how many of those are in orange or yellow. The yellow orange ones are warnings that are basically not to implement, but let you to decide what to do. Okay, let's review in detail how the security assessment tool works. In this particular slide, what we are trying to talk to the developers is that you are able to do this if you want to implement those security assessment tools that we have developed. So how to use it? What we are doing is against best practices of the security that we have done through the security document that we just developed for LinkOS 6.0. You are able to implement through your application. For example, in this particular case, I'm monitoring security risks. In this particular case, you are able to send a subset of what you need to enable in a JSON format to the printer. You can define how to do it. Then you are able to monitor it then through the data that you can capture from the printer. In this particular case, we are reviewing if I want to connect the printer through Wi-Fi, what are my regs? So as I run the report, the previous one from the mobile app, I'm gonna get the these particular items in red and in yellow, and I need to move them to green. So as I move those to green, I'm gonna need to implement those through the application or sending those commands through the JSON commands in order to change those from be on to be off. And through the implementation that we have done, we have a different sections that we have into the printer. So there are some sections that we call applications, and we cover a specific HTTP command for that. Also, we have a communication section where we have a specific HTTP command for that. And we have services where we have a specific HTTP command for that. So if you are successfully implementing these algorithms in your application and you want to make secure your printers, so after you have run the application or run the process, you will be able to change those from on to off, like the way that I'm doing, and you will have your application implemented and your printer secure. If you need more details, talk to me. I'm gonna be able to help you through the integration of this process. Other features that we added to LinkOS 6.3, including a model, a method to control low battery behavior, also a device reset button enabled, so it was not available before. So you was only the physical button you have behind of the printer. What we have done now is that you are able to do this programmatically through the SGD command. And also we have improved the algorithms to make more secure the connectivity through Wi-Fi. So my suggestion to you guys is update always to the latest version of the SDK, sorry, to the LinkOS version of the firmware of the printer, because normally we have done a lot of security protections to the Wi-Fi connection. So try to keep the printer updated to the latest one. Okay, let's move to other updates that we have done, and we talk about the SNMP updates. In this particular case, what we are showing here is a use case auto replenishment case where the printer is able to talk to the Cloud Connect solution and talk to the specific provider and tell them that the media have been exhausted and needs to replace for a new cartridge or either new roll or either new ribbon. So in this particular case, the way to implement this use case auto replenishment is based in two different architectures. The first architecture that we want to talk about is the Web Services SDK through Cloud Connect architecture. In this particular case, what you're seeing on the left side is how that works. So we have our printers, all of them connected through either Wi-Fi on network connection through the cloud. And what you see here in gray is our SDK and web services. So the expectation with the SDK is after you have it connected to the printer through the cloud, you are able to use the Java SDK. Let's take a look here in this particular diagram at the bottom. So you have the printer, LinkOS printer connecting through secure WebSocket to the Zebra connector. The Zebra connector is the Web Services SDK Word file in the version that Tomcat allows to do it. And from there, you are able to connect your web app through the SDK in Java and send whatever you want through the browser through your application. So in this particular way, you can use the printer using in this architecture, and through this you can see alert indicating printer status, all of that, or preventing issues, or discover connected printer, or establishing a new connection, all of them interacting through the SDK web services and the Java SDK. The second way to do it is through on-premise network collectors, how that works. So in this particular case, we are connecting our printers locally through a network. That is all of them going through a local PC or local computer. The local computer has a local data collector who is collecting the data from the printers, and from the collector application, after doing the data collection from the printer, is sending that through a managed service API at the cloud. In this particular case, the printer are not directly connected through the cloud, but has an internal data collector who does that work. So doesn't work the same way that the previous architecture. So the previous architecture, you can collect the data 24/7 and real time. With this particular case, it's not taking 24/7. It's taking in a different slot of times depending of your needs. So for example, if you're working with the case that we were talking about, replenishment media, in this particular case, you can see the alerts in case that you need it, but there will be some time delay. The same kind of thing that you saw on the previous architecture to this one, you can do it, but always you will be able to see a 10 delay to do this. But the advantage with this process that the printer, you can have several printers mixed with different printers of the competitors, and the ISV can capture the data through all of those apps and with different printer providers. So that is the advantage to use SNMP or JSON or SGD. But the advantage is that you can capture the data, filter the data, and send the data that you need to the cloud server. So you are not capturing all of the data that you don't need, but you can send all of that data to your cloud after that. With LinkOS 6.1, we just did some improvements to the precision of the label and the movements of the label into the printer. So when you capture the data of the odometers, that the odometer will have a high precision information that you can manage in order to set up the or to program the algorithms that you need to do for the replenishment. How you can do that? We have create some new tables in order to capture all of that data together. So we have the role smart media in this particular case. We have printers like the CD510 that is use a cartridge media printer, or we have the CD420C who use ribbon cartridge. So in either for any of those particular printers are very useful to use the new chart that we have developed. And through the chart, you are able to capture the cartridge, part number, serial number, length of the label, all of the same at one time, and capture that multiple times. So you can get that data into your application. So that was one case. So the previous case was using cartridge. So it's one use case. The other use case is when you don't use cartridge, you use continuous roll. In this particular case, you are capturing the same kind of data. So you're capturing the information of the roll inserted, part number, serial number, width of the label, speed, all of that information that you need to capture in order to implement your algorithms for replenishment media. And the other improvement that we have done through LinkOS 6.3 is capturing all of the error status in a big table. You can save up to 50 data into there through the printer and through the SNMP. So through this table, you are able to capture, for example, printer pause or get open, the different up to 14 status the printer generates. You can capture those through this table in SNMP. So this is an example where you can get a little more information on how to learn how to implement these new features that we have done through LinkOS 6.1, 2, and 3, and 4. So here just an example how I capture the latest table using the specific OID. And here you can see all of the alarms at the same time. You want a little more information, my recommendation is go to the specific printer you want to implement. Look for the firmware side in technical support for that printer. Look for the version of the latest firmware. In this particular case, it's 31st August 2020 when we released LinkOS 6.3. We are already releasing 6.4 just last month. So you can go there, look for the other documents attached, and I'm going to talk about a little about PDF Direct in my next slides. So let's talk about PDF Direct. PDF Direct. So if you want to learn more about PDF Direct, my recommendation is go to the Zebra Developer Portal, and from there look for the announcement where we explain how to use PDF Direct with LinkOS 6.3 for free. So you don't need to use any more or pay any more fee for this. What you need to do is you don't have PDF LinkOS 6.3 either, now 6.4. You can download LinkOS 6.4 and get the options with PDF Direct, and I'm going to explain the process in the next slide. So if you're working with PDF, that's many ISVs are doing right now, that's your opportunity to move forward with this new feature. Okay, so if you want to code your application to use print PDF, there are several particular kind of things that you can do in order to do that. The first thing that you need to do is set up the printer to be enabled to connect to PDF. So the easy way to do is through the SGD get enable connection. Either you're working through PDA, working through Android or through Windows. The SDK is a standard for all of those options. So what you need to look is for the SGD get library. So from here is just the standard process to do this. So in this particular case, I'm looking for checking if the printer is in PDF. So if the response is true, the printer is in PDF, so I can work or send the PDF document. Otherwise, if say no or false, you will need to send the enable command in PDF in order to make the printer capable to print in PDF. The easy way to send a PDF document to the printer once the printer is already enabled in PDF is using also the library or method printer send files content into the file path is just referring to the location of the PDF file in your device. So if everything is set up correctly, your printer just print the PDF. If you want a little more information, just call us or let us know through the developer portal. We will be able to support you through the implementation of this. But the most important thing is you're buying a new printer from Zebra that comes already directly from the factory. So you don't need to worry about to download the module for PDF. What you need to do is enable the PDF through the way just explained here. Okay, the latest update to LinkOS 6.4 are done through new emulation. So what is new for 6.4? And this is completely just new through the latest update that we did last month. It's coming with the Monarch. All of them are registered to the different providers who provide that. But Monarch, Sato, Escape Post, Sato in this particular case is able to support graphic rotation. So you want to work with that. Also, the other updates or features that we improved through this are coming through the touch front panel. So now you can change the language through the front panel, adjust backfit through the front panel, and also adjust the back counter display. So you can set up and you can see the number of label printer through the touch front panel. Other updates that we did are related to the SGD. So we implement two new new SGD commands. The one is to set up the compatibility mode for CT5 and CT6. Also, for the wet link configuration, starting with 6.4, the printer cannot have the same location to the to those AP configurations. So connections 1 and connections 2 will need to have different links to be connected using the wet link commands. So from 6.4, you will see that difference. So you have done in the past, maybe you will get some errors report, but just to be aware, starting with 6.4, you need to set up connections 1 and connections 2 to different locations. Will be not supported the same location anymore. And the last thing is, if you're working with RFID, we have improved the pair, improved for readability. So my recommendation is you're working with RFID, LinkOS 6.4 is needed to get those improvements. So you can see here all of the printers that we have updated through this new release. So covering most of the LinkOS printers through industrial, desktop, mobile configurations. Okay, we have talked about a lot about the updates that we have done through LinkOS 6.0. So the question now is what we are planning to do for the future in our printer. So in this particular case, a new concept came through, and it's one of the mega trends that you can see through the market, and it's related to what we call intelligent edge device. So intelligent edge device, what it really means. So what intelligent edge device is doing is collecting, communicating, generating, and analyzing data next to the device in real time with the objective of reduce latency, cost, security risks, to make this process more efficient. So the expectation at the end is make the device autonomous to computing process for each databases. So that is what we are trying to go through the intelligent edge printing, implement all of these new concepts through the intelligent edge printer. What will be how this will looks in real. So what the first thing that we are doing is creating an app platform, and what is it? So we are creating a full platform integration into our Zebra LinkOS printers, and we will be able to enable ISPs to develop our applications and download those applications through our LinkOS printers. And also we will allow them to manage part of the actions that the printer develop, also including security and other options that we just allow to do internally through Zebra. Why we choose, or why we decided to work for the app platform? For the app platform, we decided to go with Java. You can see here the latest market study, where it still shows Java as the more common and developers prefers to use. After that, we have C, Python, C++, C#, but the most important thing is Java is still the most useful application platform that you can use for other devices. So based on this definition, we decided to go with Java. And through Java, we have done some of these new concept pages for the LinkOS printers. In all of this implementation is done through Java. You can see here some of the screenshots that we have taken from our new printers in development, where you can see the options, other method print settings, alert settings, all of this done through Java server through the web servers of the LinkOS printers. So that's part of the concept that we are planning to do. So you will have more powerful tools to work with Zebra printers to do more things. The expectation is that you can even work from a website through the printer or externally and do whatever you want. In this particular case, it's a small format that you're sending, fill it out and sending to print, and that's what you're printing either through the mobile printer, in this particular case a CQ620 printer, or either through the CT411 printer on the left side. So you can do that directly from the display. How are we planning to enable developers to work with our printers? So we are planning to develop an App Studio version in Eclipse base. Also, we are planning to provide the tools for developers so they can use USB to download the new apps to the printer directly through the through the device, or allowing them to upload those applications and allow the end users to download those applications directly through the Zebra App Store to the printers that will have the capacity to do this. All of those printers will be validated in order to be used. So just to be aware of that, we are implementing all of the system to secure those applications so the printers will be not vulnerable to those new applications. Okay, so here is how this app platform is planning to work. So we have our Zebra's application store on the cloud. You will be able to connect those printers directly to the cloud store. The printer will be working internally in Java as a virtual device emulation of the printer. You will have on the right side our application studio, where you can start to develop your applications. You can develop different kinds of applications where you are able to download to the printer. It could be any kind of application, so not necessarily to be a printing application, but you can implement other applications, whatever you can do, and you are expert in Java, and with some kind of market for that, you will be able to manage that through this new platform. So after you have those into the Zebra platform for applications, the end user will be able to download them through a mobile application or directly through the printer. Also, we'll be integrating third-party cloud services, could be Google, could be either other ones. And the advantage with them is when you have those through the printer, the download process will be secure and easy to do. So when you're working with agents, that is the advantage to when you have that option there. So, and that is what we're planning to do, allow those third-party cloud services installs the agents so you can download those applications easily and faster. And I think we are ready now for questions.